Okay guys, so here we are. We're playing USA Lazer General here, which is my choice of USA Generals. The reason being, laser technology is cheaper, includes Avengers, laser tanks instead of the normal tanks, which obviously the Crusaders, which allow us to combine laser technology tanks with laser technology turrets, making defence a lot easier basically, and our war factory a lot more usable for defence. So we start very similar to the way we did in the last video, starting off with the same build strategy with the 3 dozers. We want to get ourselves up enough power. Again, with this general we don't get the advanced reactors like we do with the super weapons general, so we do need to build the same amount that we would with a normal army. So we're going for exactly the same strategy, exactly the same map. The reason I'm doing this is to show you the differences between USA Standard and USA Lazer General, the build difference and also the end game difference. Now quickly with the end game, I was criticised briefly by a few viewers and a few people within Flies with regards to how long the last video was and whether I showed the end game and to show whether I could achieve the end game and whether it was actually a solid defence. So what I'll try to show in this is me basically taking a hammering. I let them keep the nuke at one point, the first super weapon drop. We'll get to that bit in a bit. Okay, so same strategy, send the Humvee out full of troops to keep them busy, taking the oil derricks. So obviously, just want to stop them getting a little bit of income really. Keep their beginning wave of troops busy concentrating on attacking me there. So obviously as soon as I initiate this attack on their 2 little infantrymen, the AI's trying to counter me, sending stuff out, so that's better than letting it do what it wants to do. Unfortunately I didn't catch these 2 scout gunners that we hard always send out, so they got that dozer and took out my advantage there. So I could have re-recorded this match thinking, well, fail, restart, but I thought, well no, I'm trying to show the defaults, show the defects and show how to survive if that does happen. So obviously I've lost the income that I would have gained from there. So my main decision now, and the next thing I'm trying to do, is get the oil derricks to the south as well. I'm going to abandon any plan to try and build up a base down in the south, because he's going to send extra scouting units via the south now, I think, as he's seen me building there. So it'll take them a little bit longer to get to me. Just give me a bit more time to build the defence, so I just build a 3rd dozer and get back on with my building again. Making sure I've got a solid line of lasers ready for these. So I'm a bit weak up in the north there. Could have taken a bit more advantage of that, but I've got the jets up anyway, so just the same as last time, the Raptor jets are going to do defence for me. Early 2 late rounds as well. So just keeping an eye on this Humvee now, making sure I could do something with the derricks. Obviously you'll see there destroy the derricks rather than capture them back sometimes. That's preferable for you. Obviously it's just limiting their resources in the end game. Once they've taken all the supply piles, as China, they'll only have hackers. Depends who you're playing against. Obviously as USA you've got the supply pads like I'm using, so that's a strategical target when you're hammering at their base. If you're playing against GLA, they have many ways of earning money, but in the most part you just want to be destroying their black markets, making sure they're not getting the regular income. So continuing on through here, Humvee's doing quite well, to be honest. He lasted longer than I expected him to. They've obviously got the jets hitting my front lines now, but as I've got the war factory up and I'm playing as a Lazer General, instead of paying 2,500 credits, I'm only paying 1,500 credits for the Avengers, which are coming out now. Very, very good anti-air, best on the game, to be honest. So that should stop any major air coming in the front of my base. Also, you'll see there I'm aiming to get the snipers, so I've got anti-infantry. And then between the laser turrets, the snipers, and the jets, we should have everything under control. Obviously the Avengers and the anti-air as well. A little bit worried about how forwards that Avenger is, like the dozer at the moment, but too on the front line. I don't know whether I switch out the dozers now for a larger health one, but I see I'm waiting for money. So you don't want to be waiting around. This is the one thing, this is a big no-no. It's never at any point in any RTS, and certainly in this one, do you ever want to be sat there not clicking anything. The more you're sat there doing nothing, the less time you're going to have to counter what they're sending at you. Believe me, the hard team doesn't wait a second. They micromanage their troops very effectively, and they build at a very fast rate. Fortunately for the player, what the hard team don't seem to be able to do is collate their forces in one location, so as long as you can keep up a solid power of defence, they won't break through at any point. If you were obviously playing another player, these tactics again would have to differ. This is tactics for hard opponents, and the way to beat them without rushing, just the same as the last video and the same as all of my videos will be. Towards the end of the stream of videos, once I've done my favourite general with each army and the base armies themselves, I will actually show my favourite rush tactic, and probably rush tactics are the quickest way to get through and do the maximum amount of opponents beaten. When you get to the 8-player maps, we will show one of those as well, I think. Show you how to beat 7 hard opponents. It will be a free-for-all, obviously. There ain't going to be against me, that would be suicide. But we will show varied opponents and show how we decide to take that on. But yeah, continue with this game. Obviously I'm keeping the jets moving. They can't break through to the airfield at the moment, but as soon as the super weapon phase starts, which is coming up very soon, they will be able to break through and start using artillery and all sorts of things to smash apart my airfields. So I need to keep up a steady flow of money like I did last time, compromising with a steady flow of power, so it's power plant, money, power plant, until I've got about, I don't know, say 8 to 10 money pads going. The reason being, you probably only need about 5, but they're going to keep hitting your money resources, so if you do them in groups of 3 pads, that's what I usually do, they'll try and artillery one of those groups of 3, leaving you with a couple of groups left, so you've always got enough resources coming in. Obviously I'm being a bit adventurous with the jets here, trying to sneak out a bit and give myself a bit more breathing room by taking out the next attacking wave. Backfires on me here obviously, because the napalm missiles follow me all the way to the base. Taking out one raptor and damaging my base even wasn't brilliant, but live and learn. So again, dozers are split. I've got one at the back of the base working away, one on the south, one on the north. Need to again keep me constantly getting the money and power going. So you'll see I sent that dozer north there to do the particle laser, and he'll spend time on the defences in the north when he's done. I'm going to have a bit of a rush for power here, even though I've got more than I need at the moment. That particle laser is going to drain me very quickly. As soon as it goes online, it'll probably go down in power, so it's slow to build my 4th jet back up there, and really I should have the jets doing defensive circles here, assisting the turrets with the tanks, which I'm not doing. So again, I'm trying to pick up on all the mistakes I'm making here, and I'm trying to be very real. You know, this is a live game. When I'm speaking over the recording of it, I didn't restart this one, I just played as I play. You see there I stopped building the particle cannon. Oh no, I haven't. No, it went up live. It's just fast forward. Ignore me. I think I swapped over dozers. Yeah, that was it. 2 to start to finish the build. So yeah, I'm looking to get a composite armour now, so I can start to use tanks, and obviously that'll help the Avengers stay alive. I believe they count as heavy units. So again, what I'm now looking to do is build a 3rd airfield, or 2nd airfield should I say, for my Aurora bombers, same as I did with the other strategy USA, base USA. Put a bit of space up in the north so I could build a 3rd airfield. I can't remember whether I did or not. Certainly it's a good idea if you can and you have the resources, as I did. Basically, the reason to have 3 airfields, one of them is the initial airfield, which is your Raptor airfield, your defensive airfield. The rest of them are going to be for strike capabilities in the end game, so they're for building Aurora bombers on. You won't necessarily need 8 Aurora bombers, to be honest. As long as you've got 4 Aurora bombers at all times, you'll be able to hit the targets you need to hit, and, you know, within the time provided. You will always need to keep these Raptors up, but the point of having a 3rd airfield is so you can keep them on the build and give them another place to land should they use artillery and destroy an airfield all of a sudden. Obviously they can't refuel, repair, or get their restock of ammo if they don't have an airfield to land on, so always good to have a spare one. Obviously Hard's using what tactics it can here. It's bringing in a lot more long range units, trying to hit me with nuke cannons, assisting them with the Rhino tank push. Not a bad tactic in itself, just they're not doing it with enough units at one time. Obviously, if they can keep my defensive line busy for long enough with the Rhino tanks, the nuke cannons will tear me apart. Especially if the jets are just on standard defence perimeter circles, they'll hit the nearest unit, which will usually be the tank.